the city must be livable first before you talk about culture. It can't be last, it can't be last. Yeah, thank you very much. We had a very fruitful discussion. I would like to thanks to the group. And we started, we would ask low-hanging fruit, medium, and long term. But after 1 hour, I think we have come up with a low-hanging fruit. And maybe the long term, medium term, and the long term must be during the planning symposium, where Penang Institute is going to have it in October. So that would be the medium and the long term. We were talking about livable city. The state has already started with cleaner, greener, safer, and healthier Penang. And we would like to bring up this to another level, not in terms of the cleaner solid waste, rubbish, or the greener planting trees, or the safer, the walkways, and the healthier. But we would like to see is cleaner in terms of the cleaner development, in terms of the using the low carbon city, the smart city concept, and in terms of greener, using the green technology, the green building index, and also safer and healthier. And when we discuss, we have the one example where the group agreed that we shouldn't miss these opportunities is Batu Kawan, where we already announced it in July 2012 that this Batu Kawan will be the eco-city. And we already come up with the guideline of eco-city. So just now we discussed who are the champion of this Batu Kawan as eco-cities. Anybody champion it, but of course we have many departments. We have PDC, Invest Penang is to pull in the investor, PDC is selling the land, and then MPSP is doing the development control. Does anybody who look at a point where all this entity of the eco-city being implemented when we are, the project came in and for approval? So we feel that we need a driver, a structure to govern this concept of eco-city in Batu Kawan. We shouldn't or we cannot miss the opportunity because Batu Kawan have 6,000 acres and it's a green field. So this will be our target. And we already have the guideline approved by the State Planning Committee. But now we discuss about either we would like to set up we already have the policy approved by the State Planning Committee. So also we discuss whether we would like to look into the detailed guideline. There's also argument that when you have the detailed guideline, you might reduce the creativity and innovation of the people who are submitting the plan. So we must set the targets. What do we want to achieve in this area? What are the targets? You talk about low carbon city, you talk about green building index and all those things. What are the targets? And this target is not stated yet at the moment. So we really need to get the target in order to see, because the development still coming into the Batu Kawan. At the same time, we are processing and approving. So we cannot be too slow. So we were thinking that in order to have this target and the policy, we must have a statutory procedures. Otherwise, people won't follow because we need a legal backing in order to put in. So what we suggested that, and also confirmed by Stewart, this one is already in the paradigm to have this Batu Kawan as a special area plan under the Town and Country Planning Act. Then they will have a legal backing. Then whenever we ask people to achieve this, at least they cannot, at the end of the day, bring us to court. Because in Penang, people like to bring us to court. So when we are not careful. So we are talking about the statutory procedure and also the approving process and in the special area plan. And of course, it must be a very transparent. And the team also would like to, now at the moment, GBI is more on encourage. We encourage GBI And then we have the incentive, like development charges been reduced or density been increased. But we would like to, for Batu Kawan area, because this is the satellite city which can complement Penang Island, we would like to have it JBI compulsory. And Ms. Teng said as soon as possible, compulsory, not encouraged to have the GBI. So unless you have any more to add on to that.
No, I think that was spot on. Great, good work, well done. I was just going to say in general, I think we've achieved a lot because there's a lot more people sitting in the front now than earlier. So you can tell people have come together. But on this piece here, really changing the way we define green cities. And as was mentioned before, as opposed to looking at design guidelines that can be ambiguous, just looking at the results, sort of opening up and I don't care how you get there as long as you get there type attitude, which creates innovation, which opens the opportunity for new economies within a region. So guidelines tend to choke that, and this is where we've seen a lot of eco-cities fail, especially in China. We have more failures than anyone else. And whereas if you just shift towards results, suddenly the opportunity for innovation is massive. So that simple shift could do a tremendous amount for the Penang economy. Here, again, just identifying, and they're simple little things, but who is the person who's going to be negotiating with the developers? Who's going to be setting up this kind of structure below, maybe even incorporating this, which are ideas all worth looking at. But we've seen so many eco-cities fall apart because that one person was missing. The guidelines were there, this body was there, but who's the one person who's driving this on the inside? So a couple really fundamental shifts, and then really pulling out this planning symposium, which I wish you all really happens nice and strong in October to flesh out some of these pieces above. But very, very exciting piece. I'd like to thank the group
I just
as
want
well.
to add on this one. We also have a discussion that the elements of eco-city should be translated as early as when PDC signed the agreement, sale and purchase agreement. So we have to put in the eco-city element, not afterthought. So there must be a understanding at the point of selling the land, and then only coming in the development. Just that I want to add. Thank you.
Thank you. As an architect, there was a comment that was put before about ugly buildings being done. That's always going to happen. And Frank Lloyd Wright had one solution to this, which was plant vines. Plant vines. So I'd encourage that one to find its way into the targets, because no matter how ugly the building is, if you fill it up with green, everyone always likes it. So it's one really low-cost, safe way to make sure you get nice architecture. Rely on the landscape as opposed to the building.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.